the sample size is small, but when you only have 12 Saturdays, 2 games is about 17% of your season. Taylor's 1 of 10 on passes, over 20 yards, and 4 for 6 of 24 over 10 yards. What is the expectation when you're throwing the ball downfield in terms of efficiency level, and how much more efficient do you need to be in those regards?
Yeah, certainly. I think it starts, with just giving guys a chance, right? Because you look at those downfield throws, again, we always say this, if we'll just give guys a chance, they're either making the play or they're getting off the ground and getting a chance for pass interference situations. So, we got to do a better job as a whole at that position, schematically making sure we're giving them opportunities down the field to go make plays.
It seemed like on a number of plays over the last 2 weeks, Talon and the receivers during the routes just don't seem to be on the same page. What have you seen from that, and how do you correct that?
Yeah, I think it comes with reps. I don't know if, I know it happened 2 times in that last game.
Yeah.
One was, a press bail situation, which certainly can cause some confusion. The second one was a cover 0 check, where a signal adjustment miscue happened. So, again, I don't want to overreact. I don't necessarily feel over the last 2 games that there's been a ton of miscommunication there. The first one, I think that they were on the same page. We gotta throw and catch and make some plays, and we just got to make sure we're on the same page.
How slow is the game for Ashton? Really here last year, but he felt like a true freshman at times, and now just his ability to make guys miss. It just seems like the game is slowing down quite a bit.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's a guy who I think, you get guys that come in as freshmen, and it takes time for them to adjust to the game, and you get a certain amount of guys that are just naturals at it, and I think that's what you're seeing. I mean, I want to say we targeted him 30 times in that game. What he was able to do in the pass game, what he was able to do in the rush game is just, he's a very well-balanced player. I mean, I think he catches it extremely well, and at times with him out of the backfield, it's like playing with an extra guy.
And I think the Taylor's passing yards, Ashton, not half of them Ashton's picked up after the catch. I mean, how has he been able to exceed your expectations in those regards? I mean, it's a pretty staggering number. He's 2 in the country of receiving yards after catching a running back.
Yeah, again, I think we look at that all the time. So much of yardage, if you will, is quarterbacks being accurate, getting them the ball and letting guys make people miss. And so we all know what Ashton is. He's an extremely talented player. His maturity is through the roof, the way he's been working, and we're pleased with where he's at.
In terms of Taylor and the run-pass combination that you guys have been playing with since you got here, have you found the right balance yet?
Not sure yet. I think, as a play caller, I mean, there's certainly a lot that's on your mind. You go into a game and you're feeling, okay, how's their quarterback playing? How's our quarterback playing? And so, look, I think it's something we've talked about. The consistency, his decision making. We got to take the next step there. And I think, year one maybe for him. People getting a feel for what he does well. The reality situation, week 1 and week 2, there's good players that he's going up against. Talented guys, NFL players on both of those rosters. And so when you get in those situations, the runs, and they know what to take away. So everything comes down now to what you guys have been used to for so long, and that's decision making and accuracy. And that's a part of his game, which we're going to take the next step with, and we just got to continue to improve.
The accuracy, and it goes back to last year. It's not. It couldn't be what you want. What's going on there? What do you see there in terms of the accuracy?
Yeah, I think so much of it, is just it starts with the decision making, right? With anything, when you feel extremely confident where you want to go with the ball, I think a lot of times too, making sure, from a footwork standpoint, we always talk about be proud of what that back copy looks like, if you will, of the film. Because when he's got his feet set, when he's confident, trust and protection, again, we think mechanically he can make all the throws. But that's the development of any quarterback. It really is, and you guys know that, and he'll continue to improve.
In terms of Talon and just trying to keep him healthy, keep him, keep the cramps away. Andy mentioned maybe making sure he's hydrated. How much more of a focus does that become now that he has had that issues in the last game?
Yeah, I think it's so important for all these guys. When they progress to being a big-time college athlete, the importance of their bodies throughout the week. I think sometimes we've all been there where it's like, okay, Friday we're going to start to get ready, but it's really got to be a week-long preparation to put their bodies in a position to go and be elite every week. And so certainly it's something we've monitored. Our dietitian, our nutrition staff has done a tremendous job, but just another thing we got to be on top of.
I know it's an obvious answer, but when you have the running game you have, and the other teams know you have the running game you have, how much do you need the downfield passing attack to get going so teams just don't start stacking the box?
Yeah, I think it's critical. And I don't even know if it's just the downfield passing attack, but we got to stay balanced. And I think that's a big thing, is finding what those throws are, what those things Taylor's comfortable with, create separation, all those things, because we obviously have to be balanced, to be where we want to be.
And you mentioned there were some possibilities downfield, and you could have done a little better job that last game, going downfield. Was that stuff with Taylor, or is that play calling, or in terms of not maybe attacking downfield more?
Yeah, a little bit of both. You guys know what it is. It's so much, again, going back to the play calling thing. There's a feel element to it, and again, you're getting a feel of what that picture looks like. Are we outrunning guys downfield? What's the situation in the game? How's their offense playing? And obviously, you always want to be explosive and you want to take those chances. You look back at week 1 and we took a chance on the 10-yard line, at Washington, and almost ended up taking a safety there, right? So it's just that balance of getting a good feel, getting a good rhythm, playing complementary football, and taking the shots at the right time.
Maddox obviously comes in there, and you guys have talked about how poised he is. But when you see him, truck a linebacker on a 4th and 2, and then, stay composed in the pocket and hit Steph, what did you think of his play and then his composure on that last drive?
Yeah, it didn't surprise me one bit. I think if we go back to his spring game that you guys were here, I think there was maybe one incompletion by that kid in that game, and so he's a gamer, he's a natural. But again, you got to tip your hat to him, right? You go 2.5 hours, 3 hours of not playing, and boom, Taylor's cramping up. He's in the game, and I start him off with 2 throws, and he's prepared, and so that's everything he's all about, man. Obviously, again, I've got a lot of experience being the 2 and know what that's like, right? So, but just from his preparation during the week, that's just a guy that prepares like he's the starter. He's probably in the quarterback room right now, going through, being ready if his number's called again, and that's a testament to him and his process.
You mentioned the 2 throws, and I think you guys punted real quick after he came in. Did you even have time to change what you were calling, or if you were to go back again, would you say, hey, I'm going to give him a couple screen passes or some runs to get him confident?
Yeah, no, I think you go through the process. Think about it. I think it was a 2nd and 10 was his first rep. So naturally your thought process is, hey, we got to get half back, and that's the call we made, which he did a good job on that completion. The 3rd and 5 call was a call we really liked, and the ball got batted down, but we thought was open as well. And so, again, certainly it's a different style when he's playing than when Taylor's playing, but I think both of them can be equally productive.
Bush, you said use it, don't abuse it, in terms of Taylor's running ability. I saw one design play last game. You guys picked up the first. It looked good. Is Taylor upset that he's not running enough? Are you upset that you're not running him enough? I mean, he has this valuable, beautiful tool, and we haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I think so much of it is this, right? Like, again, you watch these defensive ends, okay? In 2 games, I think the traits or the DNA of Washington in every game they play, those guys are super wide, and that's what they do. UCF, not so much. And they came to our place, and those defensive ends were extremely wide, and on every run play, they're just basically running to spy him and make sure that they keep him inside. So, again, I think it's, just to be as honest with you as possible. Like, we called 12 to 15 plays in that game where he's got the decision to make based off of what those ends are doing. And honestly, about 12 of those plays, the read took him to hand the ball off. And so, the other teams got good coaches too, and they understand, right? You notice the 1 or 2 times he does pull it when the end squeezes, and he extends plays 15, 18-yard gains. And so there's that give or take, right? Because once you start running inside those tackles, those are big boy runs too now, right? And you're taking hits, and I think the one run you saw there was a quarterback counter where he got 3-4 yards and took that hit. So again, everything is that balance. By no means are we going into these games and going, we're not trying to run Talon, but when Ashton Genty's getting 6 yards of carry, right, on counter schemes because those ends are so upfield, that's a little bit of the give or take of, okay, if they're going to stop Talon running wide, that's what we're able to hit inside. So.
But look at the 2 minutes to go in the game. You're down 5, 26-yard line, 3rd and 10. QB2 was in. From the start to finish of that play, like what stood out to you in the execution of it?
Yeah, I just think, again, I mean, it's a testament to Mad Dog. I mean, we knew he had to be aggressive. I just think the 3, we call them money situations, money downs, 3rd and 4th downs on that final drive. He was 3 for 3, and to be honest with you, as you know, like we called that 4th and 2 call. We think it was a call he liked, and it wasn't there, and he kind of willed us to that 4th down conversion. Then came back on that final 3rd down in a cover 0 situation where they went all out blitz and stayed extremely composed and made that throw. So, you got to be at your best when your best is needed, and I am proud of the group and the unit for finishing that drive.
He said that that actually, I don't know how many times him and Steph get to run real plays in practice together. So Steph is the starter and Max is the backup. Max said that you guys ran that play in practice last week, working in practice. Like, when you get into those situations, did you recall that? Like, let's put it in a familiar situation, or is that just what you guys had to do in that moment?
Yeah, probably a little bit of both. I think certainly you want to call plays that you feel he's repped, because as you know, as a 2, you're not taking as many reps as that starter. So I think there was a lot of dialogue and a lot of, hey, you like this or you like that, you know what I mean? And I think that play in particular he felt good about for both those reasons. I think we had, man answers, we had pressure answers, but it was the execution of him to go out there and do it. And to be honest with you, the play Steph made on that was outstanding. I mean, you look at that back copy, the referee's trying to avoid the ball. I don't know how long he actually got to track it, but to make that play and then the run after the catch was an elite level play.
What did you guys see out of Breezy on Saturday? And if you guys do have continued injury problems at the running back position, what's his role going to have to be?
Yeah, it's going to be an increased role. I think we talked about it again. I think naturally he probably went through the nerves of being a freshman on maybe his first carry. I think he said something to Andy, but once he gets in there, he gets settled down. I think he just reverts back to his natural talent. He's physical, he's tough, he can make plays, and so we're excited about continuing to get him going.
When you got 3 running backs down and Ashton is hurdling guys, are you like, yeah, man, go for it, like use your athleticism, or are you a little nervous, like, all right, maybe let's tone it down a bit?
Yeah, I'd say pretty nervous.
Okay.
I just think in general the situations are what they are, and but we also know that we've got to feature him and get him the ball as much as we can. And so I think it's a give or take. Keep him fresh. We don't think we can keep him in that 60 or over play count a game, and we've had those discussions this week. But we've got to make sure that we can give him the amount of touches he needs, but also keep him fresh so he can have the success.
So what's the balance or snap count you're looking for him to make sure he's available for the whole year?
Yeah, I would say somewhere in the 50 range, okay. And that's probably about, I want to say 12 less than what he was last game, but we're going to need to lean on him for sure, and but we can't, if you will, do too much to where he feels like it's too much.
Anything else?
Maybe just a little quick unsung part of the game. Eric didn't have catches last game, but what do you think of his blocking ability? I think about Breezy's big run, he had a nice block, and then even on Steph's touchdown catch, he kind of came off the backside and provided a little help there.
Yeah, Eric's been awesome. I'm super proud of him and just really his maturity and his growth over the course of really since I've been here. I mean, I think he's one of those guys I rely on that in-game communicates and generally has a good feel for what defenses are doing, and that is the mark of a great wide receiver. A guy that's willing to play and run plays, pass plays, do whatever it takes for the team to win. And so I'm just super proud of him, and I know his growth. We get rolling here. He's going to continue to get better and better.
We know that Garrett Kern has obviously practiced previously at center, but to do so in a game is kind of a different animal. So how important has his steadiness been through the first 2 games? It's
been huge. I mean, knock on wood, there hasn't been a ton of snap issues, with him at that center position, and that's not necessarily a position or a skill that just comes overnight. That's something where a lot of times we've recruited guys that haven't played the center position and try to put them in that position, and they haven't been able to do it. So You guys know Garrett. I mean, he is such a mature, hard-working, everything this program's all about. And again, it's those kind of guys that when you throw them off kilter or they're asked to do something that they haven't been doing, are able to be successful because of their focus and their preparation.
Anything else?
Yeah, appreciate you guys.